What's going on, guys? Legendary here. This time, Charlie has putting out his little, I think, review for Callisto Protocol. So, yeah, let's check it out. It's a lengthy video, but here we go.
Moisture.
Got not bad intro. Yes, the water. Yeah, I know I'm messing with no water.
Welcome to the Moist Meter. Today we're taking a look at Callisto Protocol. I'm a huge fan of the Dead Space franchise, except for Dead Space 3, because obviously pretty much anyone.
Also, we don't get these type of games often, at barely at all. Like, there's like none. Like, there's only been Dead Space, maybe Alien Isolation. I don't know, maybe Relic. I don't know, doubt it. You know, but these games usually are never. It's kind of getting like fighting games almost, since like fighting games you'll barely see maybe once every 6 months or so. Might be a new fighting game or so comes out.
Has
but
ever
then,
sat down and played a video game and then tried Dead Space 3, hated it. It's just a bad game, but the first two Dead Space are amazing, actually iconic. So much so that it has a unique identity that was immediately recognizable in Callisto Protocol. The game really wears the Dead Space inspiration on its sleeve, and I think that's totally great. This was the last game of the year that I was extremely excited for. I've been looking forward to this release since the first trailer came out.
Yeah,
so of course
this is
I got
another
it on
one.
launch
Yeah, because it
day.
kind of reminded me of like Kojima, how Kojima was, you know, you waiting for like seeing what they're gonna do next. Oh, these people that make Dead Space, or you know, this Kojima, what's his next project gonna be? You know, what's the inspiration? You can tell you waiting for it because you know you're a fan of the studio or the person, and yeah.
And it reminded me that I'm a fucking idiot for expecting a modern game to work on launch. My God, I got this on PC, and what a tough pill to swallow.
And that's the worst thing about modern gaming. Worst thing.
It was to learn that I was once again bamboozled.
One thing also about modern games is that it's always usually you need a patch. You maybe have to wait a day or a week or so for the patch to come out. And then maybe that patch might work, because they have to keep patching out other stuff that people will find, because you know they ain't patch it the whole time they was polishing it up stuff. But you know that's the new thing.
You expected this feature to work? Sounds like you haven't heard of a little thing called modern gaming.
Because the fucking performance was terrible.
That's another
Playing this
thing
game
that
out
happens.
of the box on Steam on day one was almost unplayable. The stuttering was unlike anything I'd seen before. It was like Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, but in space. Every time you would turn a corner going down a new corridor, you'd have a frame drop from 60 to like 5.
For sure.
Or just a complete freeze in like a full hiccup until it regained consciousness and let you move a couple more steps before stuttering again. That's the reason why this game has mostly negative reviews, at least early on, because day one on PC was miserable. Now, as I understand it, on consoles, the game ran much better. But PC, man, we were not eating good. And that de novo anti-cheat, I have to imagine, played a role in this performance. The disaster, I can't say for sure, but Christ, it was bad. They did release a patch the next day to address some of the problems, though it didn't fully.
But I tell you, the patch the next day, it's I don't know why, but I always think when somebody about to release a patch the next day of it, they already knew it was going to be messed up to begin with, because no way in hell you would get a patch that quick every time. With every modern game, it has to have a patch, day one patch. Yeah.
Fully fix it. In order to get the game to run even somewhat smoothly, I had to downgrade
so investors want that
DX12 to DX11. I also then had to set it to FSR2. Like, it was a whole song and dance to get this game to function almost acceptably. The performance was bad, and it's still not great. Of course, I have no doubt they're going to fully fix the performance issues, and the game will end up being smoother than my ass cheeks, but I am so tired of games releasing in a state like this. Like, just please clean it up so that way the performance isn't this bad and immediately ruining the image of the game off rip. Now, moving on from the performance problems.
That's the guy. But yeah, for the most part, Charlie's right, man. Like, they need this way of modern games from now, ever since like the 2015 or so. Every freaking big game or so has been patch. We're going to fix this in the DLC or whatever and patch this. No. Oh, this might have this working next year. No. And it's always been like that ever since then. It's just been one after another. Patch. It's literally probably you could find like maybe 5 patches in 1 year for games. I'm pretty sure they got that.
The game itself is beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. And the entire introduction, like the entire first hour of this game, is absolute cinematic glory. I loved every second of it.
Star
the tension, the thrills, the setting, the world that they immediately start building around you. Yes, of course, it is very reminiscent of Dead Space, both in the tone, the atmosphere, and even the enemies and telekinesis as well. Like, there is a lot of similarities to Dead Space.
It's inspired by it.
But it does try and do things a little differently. For example, instead of putting the focus on gunplay and using telekinesis and stasis like in Dead Space, instead they shifted that focus more to melee combat. And my God, what a terrible decision, because they did not do a great job with the melee combat. That is my number one complaint, aside from performance. Like, this is an actual gameplay complaint. The melee combat is fun for the first 2 to 3 hours, but then it really starts to overstay its welcome and just become a giant chore anytime there's combat and you don't have a ton of ammo.
It's just super repetitive.
All the enemies are extremely spongy, and the melee combat is basically turn-based combat. So there's a dodge system in this game, but it's unlike any dodge mechanic you're probably used to. There's no free dodge. There's not a dodge button. So instead, you have to be looking directly at your enemy, actually squaring up with them, and then you hold the analog stick left and then right and then left in order to dodge their attacks. It automatically does it for you. There's no timing window. Though if you do flick it right before impact, you get a small time slowdown, but it's never really worth it to do that because it doesn't give you a huge advantage. You're better off just holding left, then right, and then left, and then punishing with your only combo. There's only one combo in this game, and it's just
It's like they're trying to be cinematic, but you're playing a game.
Clicking or hitting the right trigger.
You're just doing a quick time event.
Or if you upgrade it 4 times. And then after that 4th hit, you have to wait for the enemy to then use their 2 or 3 hit combo against you, because if you try and go further, they're going to slap you through your combo, and you're going to take a lot of damage.
That didn't look right at first.
There is another thing you can do where after or during your combo, you can pull out your gun and shoot, which increases the stun, and then you can go into the same 2 or 3 hit combo later or immediately after. But it's just a bad melee system. It's so clunky. It feels so slow, and since everything's so spongy, it lacks.
What I tell you? I told you every game that's like kind of feels slow and it got that little like I don't know, like the old Resident Evil 2, not the remakes and nothing, like the real old one that you gotta like turn, you gotta shoot an enemy but you can't even lock onto the enemy. That style. If you try to put that in the modern games, gamers ain't gonna like that shit.
Any real impact, and you have no creativity to it. There is nothing interesting you can do with the melee system in this game. There is only one way of doing it. It's one-dimensional. You have one button for melee. You can block as well, but why would you ever want to when the dodge is as easy as it is in this game? Now, it of course gets a little more hectic when there's 2 or 3 enemies that you have to size up all at once, because then you're forced to be turning in a circle like you're using Dale's advice from Detroit Survival Training. And it's just slow and tedious. It's a chore. The melee combat is clearly like the emphasis. That's where you're going to be spending most of your combat. And it's just not fun. Like, there's just nothing enjoyable about it after like the 2nd or 3rd hour. It's flashy in the beginning and it looks cool in a vacuum, but as you
some people probably will like it, though. Gamers like all kinds of stuff.
Its luster, and you'll just wish there was a free dodge button. It's just a big misstep there, but I do appreciate them trying something different instead of just doing exactly the Dead Space formula.
It's a good thing for starting out that way, but of course you don't have to be that way.
I wish they did more damage. Even when like fully upgraded, the weapons still feel extremely underwhelming because all of the enemies are so spongy. So you'll still end up dumping an entire fucking clip in an enemy.
It's kind of like I said, it's like giving off that Resident Evil vibe.
Isn't nearly as strong in this game as it is in Dead Space, though. It is here. It's just you're always better off using the melee than trying to shoot enemies to death. And the telekinesis which is here is fun. Telekinesis is always fun. You can throw enemies into all of these hazards like a spiked wall or a spinning fan blade, and it's always extremely satisfying to see them explode, gore go all over the place. So I like that aspect. I think they did a good job there. It's just overall the melee.
The way he grabbed them That should have like hit the wall and then maybe him bounce off, but he was all in the wall right there. I want to go back
brings
and
the
see
whole
it,
experience down, because anytime you're in a tight corridor,
that was
anytime
fast.
you
He
know
left
there's
fast as
combat
hell.
coming up, you'll probably roll your eyes. And it certainly doesn't help that you're doing the exact same shit against the exact same enemies for the entire duration of the game. There is no enemy variety here whatsoever. On stream, after beating it, Chat and I were able to identify 6 enemies in the game. 6 enemies that you'll be fighting. And 3 of those 6 have the exact same move set. And the only thing that differentiates them is, are they skinny or are they chubby? And do they have a long neck? Those are the only things that differentiate those 3, because they have the exact same move set. So
what the hell?
Like, enemy variety is non-existent. Recycled move sets, and they all have the same ability where if you don't shoot their tentacles,
that's you get stuff like that.
Fly out, they turn into a spiky guy, and it's the exact same spiky model on every single enemy type. It's
Welcome to Martin game.
I really just got so underwhelmed with the lack of enemies to fight against, and it was made worse when you get to the boss battles. This will be a minor spoiler, but there's only one boss. One boss that's not the final boss. And that boss is so shit. It has 2 moves, a left hook and a right hook. Those are the only 2 moves that boss has, and it has so much health. So you'll have to dodge like 60 or 70 left and right hooks while shooting him in between in order to finally kill him. It's so bad.
So he's pretty much Resident Evil's Wesker when he's in final form, but without the spinning part. You get the twirl spin, and then crash type stuff, and then the rapid fucking swing. That's it.
And that boss is recycled 4 times in an hour. Oh my god, it was so sad. But the final boss is kind of cool. Like, the final boss is a little better, even though it's still kind of the exact same moveset, but with a twist. It was really underwhelming when it came to those like big moments, like with the bosses. There is, however, one mini boss that's cool, and it's the robot. But the robot also only has 1 move, and all you have to do is shoot him in the head 5 times, which you can do instantly. So it's not even really a fight whenever there's a robot. And there's only a robot jump on his back in the entire game. Like, really, when it comes to the combat, you can control them or something. So I know I've ranted about that a lot, but that was the main hang-up for me in this game. I want to move into the things I liked, because there is a lot that I liked about it. The narrative gripped me right from the beginning. I really got invested in the story, I got invested in the characters, and I was really curious to see how they'd wrap it all up. And then I got disappointed because at the end, they rushed it. It felt extremely rushed at the end with some remarkably like baffling plot holes that I don't know how actually made it into the story.
Really?
But all the way up until they fucked it with like plot holes and a really underwhelming revelation, I was invested and still am. I still love the universe they built here, and I'm hoping they do more.
So this right here looks so fucking clean. Like, god damn, you can see like he's sweating, he's fucking nervous. They're maybe in the hot heat or something in there. Plus he got a jacket on, so he's definitely sweating. Got the fucking hat on. This looks fucking awesome. Dang, you got the eye, iris, all that stuff. Jeez, this is like a movie. It's like you're pretty much playing a movie. And from what Morse is talking about is that they freaking trying to wrap it up super damn quick.
I know they can do better. This is their first one, and I know they can do much better, and I have no doubt they will. But here, they missed in a lot of departments. I did like the story all the way up into the end.
You can't go crazy criticizing them. This is their first game in probably a long time.
The death animations are the best in the business. I actually think they did the death animations better than Dead Space. I'll say it. I think they put so much love and care into those moments pretty much to make them special.
This game. That was one of the main things that I saw in this game. I was like, wow, the death animations look clean, almost look damn realistic. Because I like games with like, I would say gore, customization, co-op. You know, that's my type of games for sure. If you got customization in it, I'm checking you out. Regardless of what it is, anime, real good, realistic game. Harry Potter, I might check you out.
Appreciate it. They're very unique. They're very flashy and over the top, and they're cool. And they continue that for the whole game. And when there are cutscenes, I think they do a great job of like going hard with them. I also really just enjoy the entirety of the tone that this game presents.
Yeah.
And I'm excited to see them expand on it. I know I have a lot of complaints, but I just know it could have been better.
And he said the tone. A lot of games don't know how to set the tone for their games.
So I am just disappointed, and these are like some issues that I think they'll need to work on. But I don't hate the game. I don't think it's a bad game by any means. It's just a game that doesn't stand strong. Yeah. It kind of,
it's one of those
it's
first
their first foray
game
into this, and they kind of are getting their footing.
Yep.
I also think the mocap is second to none here. All of the voice acting, all of the general animation surrounding the cutscenes and the characters are superb. Very, very impressive.
Yeah.
Now, putting this all together and plugging it into the moist meter, I'm going to be giving Callisto Protocol a 60%. I do think they have something special here underneath all of the problems, and I do hope they get the chance to build upon it and deliver a better sequel or another project of this caliber, because I know they can do it. They've shown that they have the talent. This game had a ton of potential, and unfortunately falters in quite a few areas, but I didn't hate my time with it. I had fun. It just wasn't overall great. So yeah.
Man, what if a Doom guy had this type of freaking vibe, but without, of course Doom guy is gonna be freaking fast as hell, but had this look. Oh my god, jeez, man, that would have been so freaking sick.
Complaints, but I increases the stun, and then you.
Oh my goodness. Look at the lighting, the effects on here. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it looks kind of more tinted, but yeah. Overall, it looks fantastic. Jeez. But there you go. Yeah, Charlie gave it a 60%. Neat. Yeah, I wanted to check this out for sure, but at the same time, I'll wait and see, because, that price is points for me. I'm, like the game's going to sell to get, I'm one of those guys. If it's really a good game, as people would say. I'm like, oh, I'll wait for it to get on sale. For sure. Yeah, that was the one thing that made me kind of question stuff like that. The game, he killed the guy so fast, and then look at this. He just, and then vroom, shot it one time, and he just ran instantly, like nothing happened. What the hell kind of monster is this? Well, there you go. Callisto Protocol, 60% from the Moistcritcal, man. Those games still look good. Of course, this is a first entry game. Of course, like I always said, you can't really criticize it too much, but they definitely got the mocap. I'll say it again. They got the mocap down. The look of it is pretty nice. The face model, all that stuff, great. Damn, look at that. Yeah, they just got to fix the enemy variety. That's about fix the enemy variety. Maybe more, give more use for the players to use more of the skills and stuff instead of just dodge here, dodge there, dodge that. Give us more. The more you give to the player, the better. But don't give them too crazy that you just feel like you're just a god, the ultimate of gods. But yeah, there you go. Yeah, look at that. Yeah, you got the little cinematic punching and stuff like this. Yeah. But there you go. Overall, not bad. Good stuff, Charlie. Until then, legendary out.